Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we are talking about American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez, Season 1, Episode 9, entitled What's Left Behind. Gary, what are your overall thoughts of this episode?
Although this seemed like a quick episode, we got so much information. Like we find out that Cheyenne's father may be still in prison, or was in prison at least. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes a lot of this stuff make sense of the things she tolerated or put up with Aaron. And we see how Aaron's mother reacts to it, like by saying Cheyenne's mother didn't even stand by her father. I want to know what he went to prison for, and I do want to know why she didn't stand by him, because whatever he did will make the difference,
right.
whether I agree with it or not. But I mean, overall, this was a great episode. I mean, like I said, it felt short. It felt like it just came on and went off, but we got so much information out of it, and we find out that Aaron aunt went to jail also.
Right, that's kind of fucked up in a way.
Well,
yeah.
She was hiding.
She was hiding. Yeah.
Evidence.
Yeah, but so. I mean, I guess just because you have cancer don't mean that you just get to do all types of crime.
Right. Yeah, just having cancer, that's not going to get you off.
Yeah. I will say I enjoyed the episode. It did go by fast. And with this being the same creators that did American Crime Story, and we did the OJ one, it was just so different how fast this episode went. We were like in and out of the case. I'm like, is this the trial? Why the court looks so like a little kid court compared to the OJ case where that we were in court for like 5 episodes, So that one felt just more like you got the juice.
Yeah, it felt like it in the OJ episodes season. We were in court like maybe 9.
Yeah, you were in court like the whole time.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 episodes.
So when they got up there and I was like, wait, are they doing the verdict? That this is just a 1 episode court case? But I'm like, I get it. We're at the end of it. There's probably, I think, 1 episode left. I believe there's 10 episodes. So yeah, they can't drag it on like they did OJ. And what happened before is what's the biggest part. All these things coming about. And I enjoyed the episode. I feel for Cheyenne. I don't know what I would do in that instance if I was her.
Ride or die, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for ride or die to an extent. Like, I guess I'm not for all ride or die. Like, I don't know. You asked me to freaking abet you in a crime. Be an accessory to a murder. Why did you even put her in that position? That to me doesn't say love. He's not ride or die for her. Because if he was, he would have never did that to his family, in my opinion. But let's get to it. You're silent.
No, well, I mean, I have nothing to say. You said in your opinion.
Yeah,
so
in my opinion. Well,
it is what it is.
All right. Well, we start off. It's June 26, 2013, and it's boom. The police are knocking, pretty much banging on his door. He's arrested for Odin. Shay was telling him, no, open the door. Don't say anything. He's like, what am I supposed to do? And press is outside, and police, they sort of stop him in front of the press so they can get their pics off real quick.
Oh, yeah, they like to do a perp walk.
Yeah, perp walk. And they took him in the police car. So what did you think of that opening scene, and did you expect us to come back to, cut to him getting arrested now?
No. I thought we were going to get more of the case. Like, how did they find out? When did they put 2 and 2 together? We got none of that. We don't know when they put 2 and 2 together. We left off last episode with them saying, hey, I'm going to talk to my lawyer. And we come in with them banging on the door. I think they kind of rushed it. But it was a good episode still.
It was a good episode, but it did feel a little rushed. I would have liked to have seen some of those behind the scenes. I mean, they took us so many episodes, so many scenes of him smoking, him cracked out. And
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they could have left out some of that stuff.
Yeah, you could have left out some of that.
Especially knowing that all that stuff wasn't factual. Like, you could have left out a lot of that unfactual stuff.
Him hooking up with Chris all the time. Like, you could have showed us once, and then that was it.
That was it. You made up all this stuff just to try to make the episode exciting
and juicy.
Which I'm gonna just say this. Although I said this episode was good, probably the best episode because we got a lot of information real quick. It was just an overall good episode. I think they failed with hitting the mark on this
The
series altogether.
Yeah.
They failed on the series. Like, this didn't have the same feel as OJ. Like you say, it was the same creators. Maybe they should have got the same writers.
Yeah.
Maybe everything should have been the same.
Yeah. OJ every week we couldn't wait. I mean, I know, let's be, I'm being sensitive. There was people that passed, but that show was so riveting. Like, we could not wait each episode.
It was. And this one, it seems like they tried to entertain more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like they say, okay, let's put this in here. Let's shock factor after shock factor after shock factor. Well, we don't care if it's true. Let's just do it. When, like, the story is so crazy within itself, you could have kept it real.
Yeah.
You just could have kept it real with what we know.
Yep.
And it would have been just as exciting. Mm-hmm. And it probably made for a better story.
There also comes to me a point where a show, sometimes it's better when you let a little bit more time pass. I understand this happened, 2013 it looks like is when he got arrested. So what, it's 11 years. However, 11 years, I know it's not that long, and
it's not.
They could have waited or did somebody else's story. We got the OJ case. That was a long ass time ago. That was like 94, 95. We just started watching Monsters with the Hernandez brothers. That was almost 40 years ago. They let that shit pass, before doing a case on them. And there's something about letting enough time pass where you can really talk about something, because it does sometimes feel a little icky when we're talking about it, when these people, like, they're reliving it still.
Right. These are people like Cheyenne. These are people that we're following on Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow them right there on Instagram or wherever. The baby, who knows? The baby's probably like a teenager or, a young adult at this point. I don't know. I feel like it was rushed,
Yeah, the baby is a teenager.
Yeah, the baby's a teenager. I felt like if they waited another 5, maybe 6 more years to do this story, they would have had a little bit more.
And it's not just about waiting. Mm-hmm. It's about letting the story develop, getting more information, getting that. It just seems rushed.
Yeah.
It seems like, okay, we just got to, we just got a budget. Netflix just paid us, gave us this money to do a show. Green lit it. Let's just give them something. Let's rush it, but try to make it look artsy, but just really rush the story. Mm-hmm. And that's what they did. There's a lot of stuff that was in here that they could have just took out. I
agree. I mean, they're almost trying to do it with the Diddy stuff too. There's a Diddy documentary, and then people are talking about, I can't wait until Netflix does the Diddy documentary. I'm like, how? You got to let time pass. You got to get the whole story.
We haven't had the case yet. We haven't had a trial. We haven't had a trial.
You gotta let it simmer a little. I'm all for doing these stories and recreating them, but it's sometimes they're just so excited to do them, they do them too soon.
Well, let's be real with the entertainment these days, the movie these days, the television show these days. Yeah, you're gonna find you're gonna find some hits, but you're not gonna find hits like you used to find hits. Mm-hmm. Like, everything now is more for the shock and awe. That's what we moved to.
Yeah,
we moved from.
I'm looking at you.
Looking at a good movie.
Hot mess.
Well, not just that. It's just a lot of things we watch now, and there's never a developing story. It's just for the shock and awe, to where sometimes after it goes off, it just leaves you more disgusted than entertained. Like, man, I wasted my time watching this bullshit.
Right. I watched that documentary, not to keep getting off topic. I watched the documentary on Netflix maybe a year or two ago. It was about that father that killed his kids, killed his 2 little girls and his wife, and he got caught.
Yeah, but that was in another country, right?
No, that was here in the U.S. I don't know what state it was, but it was in the U.S. But I just remember after watching it, I felt sick. I was like, what was the whole point? I thought maybe the father didn't do it, like, the whole time, because it was like, father did it, episode 1. So I'm like, okay, so probably going to show us that the father didn't do it. We get to the end, no, father did it. So what was the point of this documentary? What was the point? It was just a sick man, sick man with sick thoughts.
That's it.
Just, anywho. All right, let's get to it. Let's keep going on. We get the Patriots. They're discussing, the whole situation. Bill's mad. They're like, we got to release him.
Well, Robert's mad.
Okay, Robert's mad. And Bill,
I guess Robert is also Bill.
Well, one of them was like, we got to cut him. And Bill was like, we don't cut players. We release them. And he's like, he just told me not to worry just 2 days ago. And Bill's like, man, he gave me a hug.
But that's just crazy that Robert Kraft. No, it's not crazy that he's this mad. It's just crazy that he just can't believe that he was lied to.
Yeah.
It seems like, like he'd never been lied to before.
Right.
And you saw how calm Bill Belichick was.
Yeah.
He's like, well, hey, he gave me a hug and said I had nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bill Belichick is not shocked by this. He doesn't seem like he's surprised at all. He's still he's still saying, hey, the trial hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, because everything's fresh.
Yeah, everything's still fresh. We can't just cut them right now.
Well, they're really concerned on how this is going to affect them.
Well, Robert Kraft is concerned how it's going to, because he owns the team. So he's definitely concerned about how it's going to affect the team.
That's
how
right.
people are going to look at the team going forward.
Right.
Because
and you see that still follows them. I mean, with the Tom Brady roast, it was like what, 2 years ago, and they brought up Aaron Hernandez in.
This year, was it?
Was it this year?
I think it was the beginning.
It might have been this year. This year's been long. It might have been. It could have been this year.
It was this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and they still, he's still a sort of a dark circle on the Patriots name, and considering the Patriots name is Patriots in itself,
Yeah, he's one of them. The flake. It's a lot of different things, that the Patriots been accused of.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess this is the sickest, the more gruesome.
Well, a few things they suggest to immediately do. Well, they mentioned Myers warned them, so that was a surprise. That Myers, who was Aaron Hernandez's college football coach, warned them. We didn't know that. But they immediately say...
Yeah, we found that out. We spoke about it.
Okay, I guess I forgot. But they immediately suggest jersey switches, like Cohen, get his jersey out, give free switches. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, did they do that with Michael Vick? I remember people were burning his jerseys. But did they give free switches out for Michael Vick fans?
I don't remember too many people burning Michael Vick's jersey.
You don't remember that? It was
I remember some people doing it.
Well, yeah, the message was loud to the ones that were doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it, but for the most part, real fans of the Falcons were burning on Michael Vick jersey.
Yeah.
You had people, the people, in rural areas or places, other states, buying jerseys to burn it. I can't buy a jersey to burn it.
Yeah.
That just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. But, no. I don't remember them doing the Michael Vick's, the switch out.
Okay.
I don't remember them doing that because honestly in Atlanta, I don't think people was as appalled as people were around the world.
Right. Maybe
around the country.
I'm trying
to even think of the environment at that time. And environment was.
It was a little more quiet. It was like y'all
it wasn't
doing
a lot. It wasn't a lot of outrage.
Yeah. I mean,
in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not.
But we're not condoning it. But it just wasn't. It wasn't the outrage that you would go online and see, or or they would show the news. It wasn't that outrage here. So I don't think they did a switch because I didn't see too many people in the city really burning the jersey. But I don't know.
Well, Bill gives a press conference. He talks about the football team and the fans, and we want to be something you guys can be proud of. But he also says, this is the last time I will speak of this. And I'm like, I wonder if he's held onto that. Like, do you know if he spoke about it since then?
Probably not. If Bill said he wasn't, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke about it, I'm sure, privately, but publicly, nah. He's like, he don't want his name tied to that anymore. And the more you talk about it publicly, you're going to be tied to it.
Well, Bill Belichick is a different person, a different character. It's not about his name getting tied to it. It's business as usual. It's time to get back. This happened. We're moving on. We're not going to let this, like you said, this dark cloud stay on top of this football team. We got to go out and win games.
Right.
That's Bill Belichick. He's going to find a way to win games. It's all about football to him. So once Aaron was no longer a part of that team, then, there's no need to discuss Aaron anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we get 2 weeks later. Shay kicks out Brittany, who I'm assuming is the nanny or housekeeper, because she holds up like those, what is it? Not a news article. What are those
like
scam
those Esquire type
of things?
Yeah.
Gossip magazine.
Gossip, yeah.
And she is rightfully mad because she's like, my baby is in this picture, and it's a picture inside their home. So she's like, who else would have been able to do it?
Right. It's only us in here.
But I mean, I don't know. Brittany seemed pretty convincing. I feel like, what if the reporters or somebody was able to get close up and just, curtain was open or something?
No, she was saying that these are pictures from inside the house. These are pictures from inside the room. My baby's right here.
Inside the house.
I mean, she know what her baby had on that day.
Yeah, that's pretty
like, hold up, my baby had this on probably like 3 days ago.
And what was she thinking? You didn't think you would get caught if you took a picture inside where only no one else would have done it?
Like, especially when something like this is going on, people don't allow too many people to come in their space. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not too many people are trying to go in your space.
Right.
So, I mean, you're lucky the nanny, if the nanny showed up, I guess they're still getting paid. And I don't know how much the blog paid them, but, some people who work for you, they're not working for you anymore. They're going to stop coming. The people you thought were your friends, they're not going to come.
Right. I mean, it didn't look like she had any friends. Every time it showed her in the house, it was just her in that big old house by herself.
Her friends not coming.
Right.
They're not coming over there. They're trying to stay as far away from those cameras as possible.
Yeah.
Even, Aaron's family, and it's people who say they were his friends. No, they're not going to try to be over there right now. Not even the other NFL players who probably supported him said, nah, yeah, I know Aaron. Aaron's not like this.
Right.
Which there's a lot of people who are still shocked behind it. Like, there was I think it was on a Pivot podcast. It was on somebody's podcast where a lot of people who played in Florida with Aaron, they were still all in disbelief. They were like, they still can't believe it. It's just shock. They couldn't see Aaron doing that. They still can't see Aaron doing that.
Well, I hope we get some more discussion on the CTE and how much that did affect or change or have a part in his actions. And that's why I say it's important to wait, because what if 10 more years we find out a lot more about CTE? They mentioned it briefly. One of the news reporters were talking about it briefly in the background.
Well, yeah, they were talking about NFL losing the lawsuit.
But imagine if we know even more about CTE 10 more years. I mean, we should know more. 10 more years, 20 more years, and they did this story. It might have a different outcome. He might go from looking like the villain to looking like a victim.
Two things can be true.
Yes.
And I think he looks like both now. Mm-hmm. I think once and this is going into the real story. This hasn't happened on a television show, but once the news came out and said, he had CTE and his brain was almost unrecognizable.
Right.
Like, they say his brain was beat up so bad. I think from that moment he became both. He became a victim, but also a monster.
A monster. Because you hear the stories when someone has dementia or Alzheimer's and they're telling you, my grandma never talked like that before. Now grandma's cussing people out or saying bad stuff or maybe even potentially being violent. No one looks at them and goes, they're horrible people, lock them up. You feel sorry that they're not in control of their emotions, their actions any longer. Same with what else? I forgot the other example I was going to use, but
let's not act like Aaron wasn't aware or responsible for his actions. Aaron was aware of his actions, hence him covering it up. We're seeing him have remorse about the things.
That is true.
Him trying to hide things.
Making good points. Yeah.
So these are two different things. With dementia, they are unaware of what's going on. I think what you would call Aaron is, what do they call that when you just lose control and just blank out and you just happen to do something and then just come back to?
Snap or.
It's called snapping, but there's a name for it that people will use legally or in court. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I think that's what you would probably define Aaron moments. Mm-hmm. Maybe he blacked out in the moment.
Or could it be similar? I keep reading stories. People act differently or even violently when they have a brain tumor, and they're not like, my husband's acting weird, and then it turns out they had a brain tumor. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to stick up for this man. What he did was wrong. Point blank, period. I'm just saying this conversation can go very differently if in 10 more years we could be talking a very different talk.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and I think it was like way too early for the story. It just seems like it was a cash grab. Mm-hmm. That's all it was.
Yep. They saw how OJ did, and they're like, "Yo, football's big. Let's go on and do Aaron."
Yeah, Aaron's was a cash grab. I'm looking forward to seeing the what's the Mendez brothers.
Yes. Yep. We watched the first episode.
Yeah, in the first episode. Now that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Now this seems like a story that's been set on, and wow,
I didn't even know it happened that long ago. It was like 1989. I said, damn, was that long ago? I remember I was a kid, so I must have been like a little kid.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All right, but we get Murph. He calls Shay. They talk about the contract, and they said it's possible that it's not that guaranteed money may not come through because there is a clause in there for player misconduct. I think you know a little bit more about how that will end. I don't. So just for the sake of the show and people listening in who only know the show, let's just talk about it as the hypothetical right now. What are your thoughts on as far as him possibly not getting that guaranteed money?
I guess I feel how players would feel about guaranteed or anybody else. That when you sign a contract, there's going to be a lot of loopholes to get out of it. It should be loopholes on both ends to get out of it.
Right.
Sometimes it's more in favor of the team than it is the player because the player don't know. The player just signing the contract. They're not letting their lawyer give it back to the lawyer. Their lawyer adjusted it to their needs and give it back to the NFL. Like, yeah, okay, this is this, but this is this. I go walk also. Mm-hmm. So it's important that you go over your contract. It's important that you have the right people in your life, the right lawyers, not the team lawyers, not your agent lawyers. You need a lawyer that knows about this, knows about the sports contracts,
right?
And to read over it and to break it down for you, let you know that hey, if you spit wrong, if you cross the street wrong, this can happen.
And give real life examples.
Give real life examples. But like I said, I feel like the players feel on this. Guaranteed is guaranteed to me. Yeah, there's stuff in the clause. I said all that to let you know. I know what's in the clause. I know that that misconduct can. But what about misconduct of the teams?
Yeah.
Which happens a lot. A lot of people are saying in NFL that the reason like players will probably sit out or not play or other things that they wouldn't do in the NBA or whatever. And I can't remember which player it was, but they recently made a good point about it. It could have been Ocho on Club Shay Shay, but they were saying, well, NFL, although they say it's guaranteed, they could cut you when they feel like it. They could do this to you when they feel like it, X, Y, Z. So they will expect you to get up and do what you have to do. And use the guarantee, like, hold up, this is a contract, boom, boom, boom. But really, they're not honoring it on their end. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of loopholes not to honor it on their end. I think the contracts are much better now, or people are getting a lot smarter about their contracts and know that, guaranteed is guaranteed. But I want to say that this Aaron Hernandez case probably has something to do with a lot of this money today.
The changes, yeah.
A lot of changes for today.
And misconduct is too open-ended. What would they consider misconduct? If I get in a road rage argument with someone, is that misconduct? What exactly would they consider misconduct? It's too open-ended.
One thing about proving misconduct is it's hard. Yeah, Aaron's charged with all this stuff, but at the point you're saying you're going to cut his contract, you don't want to give him his money, he wasn't convicted of anything.
Right.
And, it's you're innocent until convicted.
Yep. Even though,
or to found guilty, you're innocent to found guilty. So he wasn't, he wasn't found guilty of anything. He at this point, it was just, I guess he was just accused of it.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm accused of it, but I'm not found guilty of this. So how are you going to say misconduct when
it's just an accusation
you can't,
at this point?
Yeah, it's an accusation. You can't prove misconduct.
Although that whole innocent till proven guilty is sort of bullshit because that you're telling me then you have an innocent man in jail.
Right. We know it's bullshit. We know that, that it says it, but they hold people all the time.
Yeah, you're holding an innocent person in jail then?
Yeah, you're holding innocent people all the time.
Let's get rid of that saying.
And what if you find, and I know this is taking it somewhere else, but what if you had somebody in jail for, years while they're waiting trial, and they go through trial, and they're innocent? Are you going to reimburse them?
It's happened. You should listen to In the Dark podcast.
Oh, I know it happens, but I'm wondering, are you going to reimburse me? I was innocent. This whole time you had me in jail.
Yep. A man just got $38 million. They had him in jail for 10 years.
Oh, so they are getting okay. All right. Well,
but this other man, the Curtis, it's from the In the Dark podcast. He was tried 6 times. You guys definitely listen to it, but I can't remember the details, and I think he's finally out. But if I recall, it's like a little bit of money. Like I think it's like $2 million. It's like a little bit of money. Yeah,
that's a little bit of money for years of your life. Mm-hmm. But I mean, better than a lot of people have that have been out this whole time.
That's true. All right, Shay goes to see her mom, and her mom and her sister, they both not really fucking with her. Her sister's like pissed. She's like, where have you been? You've been MIA. You didn't even come to the funeral. And that's when she's like, where did you go that day? Like, Aaron called you, then you left. Y'all were looking at each other like you knew something. You are protecting him.
I was real confused about this argument, and I really doubt it happened like this. And I would doubt, I'm doubting that she'll wait this long to ask her if she was up. Like, if I'm awake and I see you leave and I find out later that, hey, your husband is being accused of killing my boyfriend, then I'm going to ask you sooner. I'm not going to wait, till the trial starts and all this other stuff, or after the funeral. I'm going to ask you ahead of time what has happened. What I think happened, if she really did confront her like this, is the DA got to her. The DA already spoke to her and said, hey, the night of, we have your sister leaving the house doing this XYZ.
Yeah, they had her on camera.
They had her on camera.
Clearly.
So that's what I believe happened. I believe the DA went to the sister and showed the sister what they had, sister and mother, because like Shan was saying, like, hold up, y'all haven't been answering my calls, y'all haven't been doing this. Where have y'all been? I need somebody. So I think the DA already showed them this information. That's why it is argument. But instead of saying, hey, I seen the video, she said, hey, I was fake sleeping.
Right. All right, well, we get a scene, couple scenes here. Terry, that's Aaron's mom. She's at the school, and there's killer written on his, award case. We see DJ waiting for her at the diner, and some guys say, what up, killer? And then they meet, and they both discuss pretty much that they're both getting fired or let go from their jobs because of the situation. Right,
and this show you how real fake hate is. This is a fake hate to the highest degree.
Yeah.
You telling me you feel like he's a killer, but you're going to go defame your school.
Yes.
Right, write that on your school thing.
Or say killer. It's just like when the Karens go out, they're harassing someone and then calling the police saying, I was scared for my life. How are you scared when you were the one harassing?
You're the one harassing. Like the guy sitting there and they're trying to confront him. I was like, hey, what's up, killer?
Right.
But they're poking at him.
Yeah, if I'm a killer, then what you trying to entice me for?
You're right. You don't believe that.
Right.
You don't believe I'm a killer.
Yep. You're just being an asshole.
You're being an asshole right now. You're showing your fakeness, and it's a lot of that going around. We show fakeness in America by the herd. Mm-hmm. Like, I can give a lot of examples, but so some of the stuff is real fresh, and I don't want to talk about people. But people could look at something and think, oh man, this is so good. Oh, this is hype. Then when somebody come out and bring up something about it, like, hold up, did y'all see so-and-so? Now here the hate come. Like, oh, now the person, they're not this, that. Like, stop with the fakeness.
Yeah. One thing she does say, she talks about, he's her baby. She'll always be there for him. She doesn't see Tanya doing anything. DJ's like, well, Tanya's sick. And Terry goes, karma's a bitch.
Yes.
So now Terry has become the victim in the conflict between her and Tanya.
In her head, she is the victim.
Mm-mm-mm.
In her head, she just took Tanya's husband, no blood attachment. When y'all were just married.
Yeah.
There's no attachment like that. But you took my son. That my son came out of, came from my body.
Right.
So that's what it seems to me that she's looking at it now, because obviously she don't think she did anything wrong. Mm-hmm. But so it's crazy how some people could play the victim from how they see things.
Yep.
Like, hold up, you took this lady's husband, which is not around anymore. Where is he at? Mm-hmm. I haven't seen him with you when you was with Cheyenne. He's not with you when you talking to Aaron. Where is this guy at? So you took your sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that's her
cousin.
Oh, her cousins. You took your cousin's husband, and it don't even seem like he's around anymore.
And not only that, I'm trying to think, who was the man? Okay, no, I was going to say, who was the one that was implied that they molested Aaron? That was not the same guy, though, from the beginning.
Which, that's another thing they could have left out of the story.
Yeah.
They could have left this out because no one could prove that it's true.
Yeah.
Like, this is nowhere. This information is nowhere. So, but yeah, that was Aaron's uncle. Okay. That they put in there, and they had him coming out the room and everything.
Yeah, but not the same one that the mom ended up taking from Tanya. That wasn't Tanya's old husband. Two different people.
No, this was Aaron's, probably his brother's.
Oh, his dad's brother.
His dad's brother. Yeah, okay. His dad's brother or his mother's brother. This was like his uncle.
Okay.
So it's not the same guy. And this guy was already dead by this time.
Yes, you're right. All right, so the DA comes to see Shay. They show her, 3D video of herself taking something to her sister's car.
That was 4D.
That was 4D, yeah. She says it was just garbage. They were like, do you believe it was the murder weapon, or, it was possibly the murder weapon in there? And then they show her a signed police report saying like, yo, you signed this saying you didn't remove anything from your home. So either you can do 5 years or you can cooperate. And that brings me to, like, would they say her testifying was her cooperating? Because I'm like, how did she not end up doing 5 years? Like, it didn't show her on trial or anything. Or is because she did testify, even though it might not have been to that extent they wanted it, is that them considering that she did cooperate?
Well, the thing is, they were threatening her. They probably had no intention of prosecuting her. They didn't know how the Aaron case would go. And it costs a lot of money to prosecute somebody in a city. So really, this is all scare tactic. Like, hey, because a wife doesn't have to testify against her husband. You can't force that to happen.
I don't think they're legally married.
You don't think so? Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, because I've seen. I mean, when we first started watching it, it kept referring to her as like the former fiance. So I don't think they actually got married.
Oh, okay.
You would think that's what they would have probably did. Make sure she was safe and had herself covered.
Right.
Not just from like, I'm not talking just about, oh, you can't testify against your husband. I mean, as far as making sure that you for sure are entitled to his assets.
Right.
That's what I mean for her and her baby.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think they had any intention of it. Right now, they're trying to have a tight case because these state cases, they don't usually be that tight. The state lose all the time, especially to celebrities. They say a celebrity is the hardest person there is to prosecute. Mm-hmm. So the DA, they know this stuff. They know this stuff. Yeah. So when they went at her with that, they made sure to say, hey, who's going to raise your daughter? It's scare tactic. They needed her to testify to try to give it the case a slam dunk. Like even his wife testified against him. Mm-hmm. Even she thought it was a gun. Yeah. He's a dangerous guy.
Even Aaron mentions that later, like telling his mom, like joking, like how are they gonna find 12, jurors to convict Aaron Hernandez in in this area.
Right.
And it did work for OJ. It did work for OJ, but the circumstances were very for a lot of celebrities. Different. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like super high profile case like that. The circumstances were very different. The time was very different, like the atmosphere. And OJ, to me, was probably a bigger star than Aaron Hernandez because me personally, I don't think I ever heard of Aaron Hernandez until all this stuff happened. Like, that's when I first heard of him.
Okay, yeah, you would have to be a football fan.
Yeah.
Well, he was getting in trouble a lot.
Yeah.
But you would have to be I guess you would have
to be in that world. I mean, look at Cam Newton. I didn't know anything about Cam Newton until we're watching this show. I'm like, oh, I didn't know all that about Cam Newton. Just knew he played for the Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, so Shay goes to see Tanya, and she asks Tanya, like, what do you think happened? And Tanya just asks it back. And Tanya actually blames Wallace and Ortiz, saying they should have been looking out for him. Before we get on to the rest of their conversation, actually, I want to discuss, what do you think, why do you think Tanya is automatically now putting the blame on Wallace and Ortiz, even though we do see later on Wallace on trial testifying against Aaron? But I don't know. Why do you think she's thinking they should have been looking out for him? How do you look out for someone to stop them from preventing murder?
Well, maybe she meant they should have been looking out so it wouldn't get that far. They were too busy being yes boys when they should have been trying to secure the bag and tell him, no, hey, that's not right. That's not right. Like I said, it seems like the guy, his friend, Sherrod,
was actually
the only one that kind of, sort of had his best interest in mind. Well, out of the fellas. We know his aunt did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what she meant. They should have never took him to get the guy. Probably should have talked him out of that before, because obviously they're on payroll.
Right.
They're getting paid. They're the entourage.
They just listen to whatever he says. When he told him to stay right there.
Well, that their job should be, hey, nah, we're not gonna get this guy, or hey, let us talk to him.
Yeah, let us handle it. You don't need to be involved. I'm not saying they should have been killing him.
Yeah, they shouldn't have killed him.
But like, hey, let's go talk to him. Let's handle it. You don't have to be involved.
Right.
Or just don't fuck with him anymore. If you feel betrayed by him, just don't. Okay.
Well,
you don't hang out with him anymore.
The reason I think Aaron killed him and had to get information from him, because Aaron didn't know what he told him. Aaron probably could tell him about his alternative lifestyle. He could have told him about the murders a year before. He could have told him anything.
Right. That's what he was scared of.
That's what he was scared of. So he couldn't let the guys go talk to him. But what I'm saying is, that's what Aunt Tanya meant, that the guy should have took care of this, should have had his back.
Right. Well, Shed says, hey, they have me on tape, and she just wishes she knew the truth. And Tanya's like, that's what being a ride or die is supposed to be. You know, I've been subpoenaed 3 times, ignored them all. And she tells a story about when Aaron was younger and how all the boys were playing football, but he was dancing with the girls, and his father comes over and grabs him by his neck, and he's a little boy, and she was in shock. Like, and Aaron took it. He just took it. And she said she promised herself after that she would always look out for him no matter what. So she says, when Shay says, hey, what do I need to do? She's like, ride or die. And it was almost, to me, like a threat to Shay. Like, you're going to have his back, or you're going to end it like Odin. At least that's how I took it when she said it to her.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that? Because she even said right before that, she says, you haven't been to see him yet. Have you been to see him? You haven't been to see him?
Yeah, she's probably telling her she to do her part.
All right.
So
I kind of took it as a threat.
You need to have the baby go see him, but she was just telling it, like, you're asking me what do you need to do, and I'm telling you, you need to ride or die.
All right. Well, we see Aaron's mom go visit him in prison, and she complains about the traffic and the wait to get inside. So we kind of do understand now the distance that he's in. Usually prisons are not like in a residential area, because she mentions it was a 2-hour drive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like how Aaron was like, yeah, I've been reading. He's much calmer now that he's not on drugs.
Prisons aren't usually in a residential area, but there's some that's cutting it close.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, some prisons that's just
when we were buying a house a few years ago, we were in the neighborhood considering it, and then like when we left it, we went a different way, and there was a prison. Well, I don't know, jail. I don't know if it's a prison, jail.
That's a prison.
It's a prison.
Yeah.
And you could tell the
realtor
tried to like direct us to go to a different way, but we were like, we just ended up going a different way than he suggested.
Yeah. Well, he suggested a way, but Waze suggested another way.
Yeah, Waze suggested another way.
Waze suggested the correct way, the shortcut.
Way. Right, the shortest way. And that's when you're like, damn, a prison's right behind this neighborhood. Like, walking distance.
It was walking distance.
And and that's when we were like, that realtor tried to scam us. Well, not scam us, but definitely tried to mislead us.
Yeah, he tried to mislead us. Or he didn't want to see that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they say that living by a prison is usually like safe, or the safest place to be.
Yeah.
But just for a peace of mind, you don't feel that way.
Right. I mean, what if they escape? Your neighborhood's right there.
Right. And I mean, the chances of them escaping is very low, but what if that chance happened?
Right. Well, Aaron mentions he's been reading. He looks so much better. He looks so healthy. He's calm, his demeanor and everything. He said he's been reading Harry Potter, and that, I mean, that will do it for you. that will make you nice, happy, and peaceful.
That kid book.
Yeah, his mom's like that kid. His mom is so effing negative.
She's so negative.
She's like, ain't that for kids? He says his lawyers feels good about the case, and this is when he was like mentioned, hey, what's the chances they're gonna find 12 people to, find Aaron Hernandez guilty?
Right.
And she gives him a card that she found. It's the DA's card, and she says Shay has been talking, or she's kind of wondering, has Shay has been talking? And she's like, she even came to see you once? And he's just like, I'll talk to her though. I'll do anything for you, anything.
Yeah, it seems like she's trying to get in his good grace because she don't think he's going to jail. She believes he's innocent, or she believes that, so what if he's not? He's not going to jail. He's Aaron Hernandez.
Right.
And when he don't go to jail, he's going to see who had his back. Because some people have your back for selfish reasons.
Yes. I mean, it does feel like she's having his back for selfish reasons. Because
it feels like it. I'm not saying that she does, but I'm just saying it happens.
Well, even earlier in the scene when she went and saw DJ, Aaron's brother, at the diner, and he's like, oh, did you get your hair done before you came and met me? She's like, well, now that I'm on camera, she's all checking. She's like, I gotta, the cameras are always there. I'm always on TV. She's like, I always want to be on TV, but not like this. To me, I mean, once again, we don't know if she said all this, but when she was like, I'll do anything for you, anything, in my opinion, the threat was still there. Like, now it's almost a threat. Like,
hold on, what threat are you getting?
I'm thinking she's letting him know, if I need to, I'll handle Shay if I need to. I'll do anything for you.
And you think she was talking about like murder? Or up to murder?
Up to murder. Up to murder. Maybe a beatdown. I don't know. The implication to me was there.
I don't know. My social awareness is off. Because I didn't get the threat when you said Aunt Tanya threatened her, and I didn't get the threat here. But now that you speak on it, yeah, I guess these do sound like threats.
When someone says, I'll do anything for you,
I was like, man, that's sweet.
It's okay. The context of the conversation, I think, is different depending on the person you're talking to. You're talking to a spouse, anything, you're like, okay, you down for anything. A mother, father, a brother, sister type of relationship, I'll do anything for you. Anything. I'm thinking, yes, I will hurt someone for you.
Man, I need to stop using that. I'm using that loosely. Like, you mean up to murder. People think if you say, yo, man, I'll do anything for you. So people up to murder.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta change my word.
To a friend, like, man, I got you. I'll do anything for you. No, but if my friend goes, man, I'll do anything for you, Nicole, anything, then yeah, that means I know they willing to do anything. Yeah, I need to change my vocabulary. People out here actually think I'm a ride for them. You better be careful. Don't say anything and if ain't anything. That's all I'm saying.
It need to come with a clause.
Yeah, it need to come with a clause.
Like up to.
Almost anything. I'll do almost anything for you.
Anything for you. Up to maybe a little petty lie.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with your words. All right, so Shay goes see Aaron's mom, Terry. They are shopping. The mom is throwing subtle hints. She's like, what does one wear to her son's murder trial? And picking out different outfits. Like, do we wear color and this? And then she asks Shay, like, what side of the courtroom are you going to sit on? Are you going to sit on your mom and sister's side? Or are you going to sit on Aaron's side? And she also says, hey, you should wear something professional, especially if you're going to testify. Like, she's keeping up the words, keeping saying, like, she wants Shay to tell her what's going to happen. Yeah. Basically saying, I know you're a rat. Yeah. And she's like, well, what will you say? Because you don't know anything. And once again, hinting, like, tell me. She's trying to get Shay to talk to her. Shay doesn't give much, even though she's like, what are you doing? Like, Terry, what are you doing? Why are you, I know what you're doing, but why are you doing it? And I think it was clear at that time that Shay still was not clear of which side of the trial, the court she was going to sit on. Right. But she knows if she sat on her mom and sister's side, that would have very big implications to Aaron. his case to me.
To the case and to him.
Yes.
Because even if she was through with him, like I said, people do things for selfish reasons. Like I'm gonna stand by my man because when he walk out of here, he's gonna know who was here for him.
Yeah.
Even though she's probably about to leave him anyway.
Right. To me, I mean, and I get it when she was telling her sister. I think either earlier, I think later in the episode, like if I don't stay here with him, he's gonna have no one. Everyone else has left him. They use him. They don't care. She mentions when they were playing football and he was hurt. The team didn't care. Everyone uses him, and she's the only one he has left.
Yeah.
So I get it was a complicated situation. I think though, and I'm all for her.
I think it was complicated.
But I'm all for her sticking besides Aaron if she thought he was innocent. Now, if she thinks he is guilty and she's sticking beside him, that's where I have a problem with him.
What? Really?
Yeah.
But how would you know the difference? Like you saying if she thinks that,
I wouldn't know the difference. Only she does. So if she's saying I'm standing behind him
would that always be a question in your mind? Like if a wife is standing by her husband, would that be a question in your mind? Like I wonder, do she think he did it and just standing beside him? Or she doesn't think he did it?
I mean, you see it all the time, mainly in the political space where a wife sticks beside her husband and it's clear he did it. So there's cases where the wife knows he did it and still sticks beside him. Those are usually like, I don't know, embezzlement, different things, cheating. A murder case, you're standing beside him and you know he committed murder. I'm going to look at your side. And it wasn't in self-defense. But only she can answer that.
Yeah, right. But I'm glad she stuck beside him also. And I don't think she stuck beside him for selfish reasons. Knowing her background and knowing her father was also in prison, it makes a lot of sense why she would attach herself to Aaron and why she would stick beside Aaron. Like Tanya, wasn't it Tanya who said? No, it was his mother that told her, yes, your father went to prison, your mother turned her back on him or something like that.
Yes, yeah. No, I don't think they said it to Shay. I think it was the mom talking to talking to Aaron about it. Talking to Aaron. Like her own mama didn't stick beside her dad.
Right. Okay, yeah. She was talking to Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the reason why Shay stuck beside him. She grew up in that environment. She know what it's like, and she want to do right by her family. Probably like when she was younger, she probably wanted her mom to do right by the family. Yeah,
and there's no saying that the mom didn't.
Yeah. No one said, because the father could have did something horrific that the mother just was like, no.
Right.
I can't put my kids, in this situation, in harm's way.
Because we keep talking about, does Shay stick up for her family? Is she sticking up, protecting her family, as in Aaron and her daughter? But Aaron didn't stick up for his family. He's put his family in this predicament to where now the police are there. The baby may get taken. The wife may go to jail, all because of his actions. So it's always, now they're talking about, Shay, do you have his back? He didn't have her back. He didn't care. He did all this shit knowing how it would affect his family.
I don't think he ever thought he'd get caught. Let's put that out there first. I don't think he did all of that knowing how it would affect his family. I think he seriously had a problem. And, I mean, what I'm about to say is probably mean and going to be very unpopular. But a boyfriend don't equal a husband. You go a little too hard for your boyfriend. You about to lose your sister over a guy you just met last week.
Shut up. Are you kidding me? We will agree to disagree on that one. The sister has every right to feel how she feels. Especially if you know you caught a diamond in the rough. You're like, oh my gosh, this man, I want to marry him like he's my future. And then he's taken away by your sister's boyfriend. Not to mention, if we're saying boyfriend doesn't equal husband, Aaron is not Shay's husband either.
Yeah, you're right about that. But that's how they carried themselves.
All right, they come to arrest Tanya and they say, okay, or you can give a sworn statement or you can choose arrest. And Tanya is a ride or die, regardless of what you may feel. She really doesn't mean anything because she's like, yo, let me get my medicine. She's sitting here sick right now with cancer. And she's like, let me get my medicine. And then that's when they find the car that Aaron stashed at her house last year. Or the year before that when he killed those two people.
It was the year before.
And all I'm thinking is, why did y'all had all year, you just kept the car there that whole time?
Right.
Never disposed of it? What the fuck is Wallace and Ortiz on your payroll for?
Yeah, what are they around for?
What are they around for? Come on.
Like, it's been there for a year. Y'all didn't think at no point in time to go to a chop shop or
strip it themselves, whatever.
Yeah, they could have stripped it themselves.
Slowly stripped it away.
They could have stripped it down, repainted. You learn all that on YouTube.
Sold the car, whole different state. They could have did so many different things.
He could have kept the car. I'm saying that he could have got the car repainted, could have did it himself, could have stripped it down, did some, sold parts. Mm-hmm. I mean,
got the seats upholstered. I would have got the whole thing. I don't want to sound sick or anything. I wouldn't have been in that situation. But what I'm saying is, he could have got it reupholstered. He could have did a lot. He could have did so many different things, not just keep it there with all the evidence sitting there.
Right.
All right, so Murph gets a call. He immediately is saying, book me a flight to Boston, to assistant. Turns out the car in Tanya's garage, as we've been talking about, is tied to a double murder in Boston from 2012. It is also registered to Aaron. Has him on camera at that club from the very first episode. He will plead not guilty, but when Murph is talking to him, he's like, he's going to plead not guilty, but with this, along with all the Bradley stuff. And Shay's like, what Bradley stuff? So Shay didn't even know that Aaron was being sued by Bradley.
Yeah, we spoke about that. I think we spoke about that.
Yeah. I mean, podcast, we knew he never told them they fell out, but
because we were saying that he put her in danger.
Yeah, she's completely in the dark. And I know, hearing all this, like, your husband or your fiance is accused of murder, and you're like, you're trying to grasp that. Now they're telling you, he's also accused of a double murder. Not to mention he's getting sued by his former friend, because his former friend said he shot him. I don't know how she doesn't just go crazy or have a meltdown right there.
She probably did.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it happening. Because now, like she said, who did I marry? Who is this guy?
Yeah. And that's when she finally goes to see Aaron in jail, and she's like, is it all true? Like, and he's upset that she didn't bring the baby. She's like, why would I want to bring the baby here? And she goes, what will happen to the baby if we both go to prison? Because Aaron's like, telling her, you need to be quiet, keep quiet, don't talk to anyone. She's like, what will happen if we both go to prison? Who will take care of the baby? And he says he didn't do it. When it goes to court, everyone will see. Just stick with him. Yeah,
he said the right stuff. Because why would she ask him that while he's in there?
Yeah, because he was like, shh.
Yeah, like, you asked me that here? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I supposed to say? I'm trying to get off, and you asking me, is it true?
Right.
And a lot of people have been caught up like that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking over jail phones, or talking over the little, they have phones and when somebody comes visit you. Mm-hmm. People have been caught like that. Those calls are being recorded.
Yep, all the time. So we're finally at the trial, and Shay sits with Aaron's family. The DA starts off by his open testimony saying, hey, Aaron Hernandez is a killer. He's been getting away with things his entire life, but you cannot let him get away with murder.
Man, I hate that. I really hate when people hopefully admit that, he's been getting away with stuff his entire life. Yeah, that's that argument right there. Like, why? Why have you been letting him get away with stuff his entire life?
Well, it's not like the DA's been letting him get away. He's trying to show you a pattern. Like, he's been getting away with so much shit.
No, I'm saying that there's a lot of people we need to question when you bring up the argument.
Yep, I agree.
I think he could have made an argument without saying that he's been getting away with it all his life, because what does that put in your head? Like, who the hell been letting him get away with this all his life?
Questioning, side-eyeing the Myers coach. Because, even the Patriots is like, Myers warned us. Well, Myers warned you guys, but he didn't say shit to the public.
Right.
He let him stay there until he didn't need him anymore.
Until he didn't need him.
So Odin's sister testifies, and that's who Odin had text that night when she said, I'm with NFL. And that's when we find out Ortiz. Okay, so it was Ortiz that testified. I thought it was Wallace. And he pretty much says he heard that. I mean, he tells the truth kind of much. He tries to act like he was asleep. He's like, I was asleep. And I heard the gunshots. And next thing I know, Aaron came back and Odin didn't. Because he was trying to make himself sound as innocent as possible.
He tried to, but you can't.
Yeah.
Because you drove him out there. What did y'all plan to do when you got there with Odin?
Right.
You thought he said, I thought he was going to talk to him? What, he could have talked to him at home.
At home, right.
He could have talked to him. Y'all could have took him to McDonald's. He could have talked to him. You know, you didn't have to drive him out. They drove him out of state, didn't they?
I don't know if they drove him out of state.
But they drove him like cities over. They drove him pretty far.
Yeah.
So you drove him that far just for a conversation. I can't let you get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he testified because he's for a deal.
Yeah, because he was already in prison gear himself.
Yeah. So, you know, he's getting a deal or whatever, but I can't give you this deal. You took that guy out there with plans to do harm to him. Mm-hmm. You know, you could have... You can't tell me that, yeah, we drove there, you know, Aaron gonna talk, and I just went to sleep.
Right. Bullshit.
What? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but I think they've heard enough of the testimony to know he did it. That's pretty much the end result, is that Aaron did it.
Right.
You're lying. You're lying about being asleep, but yes.
Well, yeah. It doesn't matter what he lied about. The thing is, I hope he didn't get a deal.
Oh, he definitely got a deal.
Because he was a part. What I'm saying is he was a part of it.
Right. He was definitely accessory.
Like, yeah.
Then they also show a home video, very clear, with Aaron with the gun in his hand, but they can't find that gun, and they say someone disposed of it. They kind of were hinting at Shay. And that's when Odin's mom testified, and, you know, she's talking about, you know, her son was so sweet to her, and she was wearing his favorite colors, and she'll never get to see him again. And before the court gets out, the judge orders everyone not to watch anything on the news or anything like that. So it is surprising, or not surprising, but it's very different from the OJ case where those jurors were cut off from the real world, where they had to live in hotels for almost a year. Where this jury gets to go home and you just tell them, hey, don't watch the news. Don't be looking at anything online, okay?
Right, which is crazy.
Now, you can tell on their phone if they watch something, but how would they know that they didn't watch anything on the TV at home?
Or they didn't talk to anybody.
Or even
they went home.
Right. I don't know what to do in those big, high-profile cases like that.
That's why I couldn't be on a jury duty. I could be a juror.
Yeah.
I can't because, man, you know I talk. You know it. You know I'm telling you everything.
I think I would be able to keep quiet if that's what, like, if I was on a juror for, like, a big case like that. I think I would try to make sure, because I'd be scared that I'm going to get questioned later, and then I don't want to have to lie later. So I'm like, if they say not to
You're a liar.
I'm not lying.
Yo, I know you.
No, I swear. I know I'd be able to be quiet. I would just be like, I don't want to have to. What if I get testified later? What if they make me take a lie detector? Yeah. Don't put me in a bad position.
And I'm going to tell you how it would happen. Mm-hmm. We'll probably be laying there. Then you'd be like, oh, I thought about it. Were we just talking about something? I'm like, no. You say, oh, maybe there's something happened earlier. They're like, oh, what? Then I probably ask you, like, what? Twice. Like, what happened earlier? Then you say, okay. Then you give me the speech. I can't say anything. And boom, 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 boom. And there you go. It's all going to spill out. And then, not only are you going to tell me that, now since you got it off your chest, you go, tell me more.
Whatever.
You're going to be inclined to tell me more.
On the off chance that I'm ever on a high-profile jury case, just know I will do what's expected of me.
Babe, before that case is over, I'll know every other juror. I'll know their business. You would tell me their business.
I know I can keep it quiet.
You would tell me who. I don't know who each juror is dating, if they're married.
I might tell you that after. I'll tell you all that after. But I'm not going to tell you. If they tell me not to tell you, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. Wink, wink.
Man, you messing up my potential for ever being on the jury. They gonna play this back. Like, even her own husband says she can't keep quiet. All right, so Shay's sister confronts her and begs her, just, you know what? It doesn't matter if you're sitting with us or not. I just want you to tell the truth when you testify. And, you know, Shay doesn't really say much, and then that's when we just get a quick scene of her going home in bed to, like, she's in this big mansion now, alone, sad, no friends, no family. All right, so the next scene is Shay. She's ignoring the press. This is her day of testifying. I don't even know if I would consider this cooperating, even though she does testify, because it's almost like she's purposely leaving stuff out, which the DA does get at her for that, because she admits to removing a box, saying she puts it in a bag, says she didn't look in the box. She can't remember where she disposed of it. A lot was going on that day. And they're like, you didn't have any idea what it was? And she's like, I thought it was marijuana. And that's when the sister walks out. She's like, you fucking liar. You would do all that because you thought it was marijuana? Why didn't you flush it down the toilet if you were trying to get rid of marijuana? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, we can't prove what she thought it was. I'm not thinking marijuana. She knew this was on harder drugs.
Yeah.
So maybe she thought it was, or she didn't want to say, I thought it was crack.
Man, if it's crack, why didn't you
heroin.
Toss it down the toilet too?
Residue. You want it out your house. But I believe she thought it was a gun. But that's something you can't really prove because we don't know what all he told her. Like, hey, since I saw him last, they're going to be coming to the house, and he just I have drugs in the box. Mm-hmm. They don't know what he said over the phone call. I have drugs in this box. I'm going to need you to get it and get out of here. I do believe she looked in the box, or she at least felt the weight of it.
Yeah.
I believe she knew it. She knew what it was, or she looked, because I can't see anybody removing anything and not wanting it, especially a woman. And I hate to go there, but you're not removing anything. If I call you and you remove something, I know you're going all through it.
I would say more than likely yes, but there is the thought of I don't want to know. I want to be able to say I don't know what's in that box. So it is a potential that she did not look in that box. If she doesn't want to know, it's because she knows, but she doesn't want to have proof that she knows. Sometimes you don't want to know. I don't want to be involved. Yeah, I don't want to know.
You might not want to know, but you got to know.
Nope. Once you see it, you can't undo it. Sometimes you just don't want to know.
Okay.
But the mom meets her in the restroom. She says she couldn't do it. And that's when she has that whole scene about everyone leaves him. We're all that he has left. And all the mom says to her is, I'll pray for you. And we know when someone says, I'll pray for you, I'm thinking of, I pray for your mother. I feel sorry for your mother. I know not the same thing, but it's almost like not a threat, but it's a diss to me.
It is kind of a diss.
You know?
Yeah. It basically it is. You know, it's kind of like I'm shaming you.
Yeah.
Like, shame on you. I pray. But for what Cheyenne said, it's shame on both of them. Not both of them, but the mother also. Like, you telling me that he would take care of you too? That's what Cheyenne said. Like, we all been living off his money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, it's not a shame of the mother. It's, my son-in-law was helping me because he had the money. But my son-in-law has now murdered my future other son-in-law. So, the money is not, I'm not sticking by him just because he had money.
No. I'm not saying that. Let's take this murder out of it. They already didn't like Aaron. They already made it clear how they felt. Her sister made it clear. They made it clear how they felt about him. But you're telling me you're still accepting his money? He's still helping you out? So you already know his character is bad. You already questioned it. Like the sister was saying, when she was arguing with Odin. You're not going to be, no, I don't want you to be like Aaron. I'm not my sister. Mm-hmm. You're not going to. So you already know this guy's character. You don't like him. But we found out he's also supporting your households. That's a little, I guess, but that's a little cringe to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like the people that hate their parents, but they're like still taking care of them, or the parents still, like grown kids. Trust fund babies. I don't know. I'm reading this book, and this trust fund baby, he hates his daddy, but it's like the dad is paying for everything in his life.
Oh, well, that's different. If it's a parent.
Man, let your daddy do that bad. He up here paying everything for you.
Kids, get your parents' money. Never turn it down.
Yeah. Well, I feel the same way. Aaron's mama, Shay's mama may not like Aaron, but
I didn't say parents. I didn't say parents get your kids' money. I said kids get your parents' money. There's a difference.
Well, we get pretty much our final two scenes, and Aaron, the verdict comes out. He is found guilty in first degree because the judge says, hey, you can find him in guilty second degree. I think manslaughter. They gave him all choices, but they were like, nah, we giving him the highest charge, which was first degree. And then we see the scene of Shay actually taking the baby to see Aaron in prison. The baby's like a toddler now. So it's probably a year or two later at this point. The baby's like 2 or 3. maybe 2. Looked like he might still been in diapers or so. And even the cupcakes that she gave him because it was the baby's birthday. The
baby was turning 1, right?
Nah, that baby was more than 1.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, it had to be 2. I hope that baby was not 1. And this all happened in 1 year. I don't know. It looked a little older than 1.
Yeah, but I wonder how she thought she'd get those cupcakes off. you go into a prison.
Yeah.
Like everybody watched cartoons growing up. we know what's in those cupcakes. The little nail files.
I'm sure you could order cupcakes that are through the actual system. I've had a relative in the system before, and I know you can order snacks for them. And everything is like extremely expensive. Bag of chips, $15. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you could order cupcakes like from a professional bakery that's tied to the prison, that has like, tied to the prison in some way. I didn't see those type of things on there, but that's actually some type of good business plan, if the cupcake business, because all the other stuff that was on there were processed foods, chips, cookies, stuff that's already packaged and made, nothing fresh.
Okay.
But I'm thinking a bakery could really get off.
Well, she got some Twinkies.
Yeah. But imagine having something fresh. Like, oh, you can order from this restaurant here and you get a fresh sub or something.
I mean, I think we're trying to reform and get them up out of there. Like, if you send me somewhere, I have all these options. I have the fresh subs.
It's extremely expensive.
I have the bakery.
Sub is probably going to be like $20. So it's not like someone's going to be eating one every day.
Right.
But I don't know where Shay goes. She goes off and like sits the baby there, I guess, to have some one-on-one time with Aaron. I don't know. And that's when we see Aaron. He looks at his baby and he just realizes where he is and his baby is, knowing he'll never be able to see her grow up on the outside world. And he tells her he's sorry.
Yeah, that's how it ended.
Yeah. And part of me feels, at least based on how they're showing him since he's been in jail, if he had a better circle, once again, I'm not putting all his actions off on anyone else. He's at fault. But I'm just thinking, imagine if he had a better circle. Imagine if he got out of football when he realized this shit is affecting me and stayed off the drugs. I think he could have had a good life. You know what I mean? He just, his demeanor and everything seems it's so much more calmer. Pretty much throughout this whole season, we've seen him. He's always high and just out of his mind and angry. And you don't see that anger anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he has no one to be angry at now but himself.
Yeah. So only 1 episode left. I'm guessing they will show us how this story comes to an end. And hopefully, maybe I'm hoping at the end of this season or at the end of the next episode, they'll also show us like, okay, this is real scene. Like I don't know if they did it for American Crime, OJ, but showing real cases or like what happened, where everyone is today.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think on the last episode, they showed like the actual people.
Yeah. Because I thought Shay had a couple babies, but I'm like, there's still only 1 baby. So how does she have more than 1 baby with Aaron? And if so, was this conjugal visits that she got pregnant on?
I should have did more research, but I thought they had multiple also.
Yeah.
I thought she had 2.
I just didn't want to I don't want to use her spoil when I'm talking about real people, but I didn't want to I wanted to keep it on the show, so I didn't want to look too much up on her, but I always assumed there was multiple babies, but it looks like there's just 1. All right, that is all we got. We appreciate you guys listening. Until the next episode, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.